Hi, my name is Terry Heath, and you've joined me today on the Maverrik podcast. Okay, so the topic I want to talk about today is something that comes up quite a lot when I'm talking to clients. It's what am I going to post on the social media? What's the topics? What are the themes? What those things? Now, most of the people that we do a lot of training with hit this wall about 2 weeks in. We concentrate a lot on LinkedIn. And what happens is everybody gets excited. I'm going to post on LinkedIn. I'm going to be there every day. They get all of their topics and everything. They put their stuff. Some people will schedule it ahead of time. But what generally happens, we get 2 weeks in and they start drying up. It's like, now what do I talk about? What do I post? I don't know anything. The problem is that the enthusiasm drives you forward, but there's no framework. You need something that helps you continuously produce good content. So we've got a number of ways of helping people with that here at Maverrik. And one of the things I'm going to talk to you about today is what we call TASTE. TASTE, it's an acronym. I nearly got it wrong there. TASTE. And let me just walk you through what that looks like. So we use this framework in a way that you can evidence who you are, what you do, you can educate people, you'll bring out your value proposition, all of that is important to communicate your message and get across to people who you are, what you do, and more importantly, how you can help them. So let me just run through TASTE. Let's start with the T. The first T stands for teach. We're going to teach people who we are. You've got to accept that on social media platforms, you're going to bump into people who've never heard of you. They never knew you existed on the planet until this moment that they suddenly bump into your content. So what is your content about to do? So hopefully, now that they bumped into you, your content will teach people. You're going to educate them in who you are, who the company is, what you do. So some of your content will be teaching and educating. You have to do that to let people know and help them understand, take them on a journey in a sense of who you are and what you can do for them. So that's the first T. What about A? Well, A we call the actionable advice. Actionable advice, or put it another way, what are the tips and hints that you can give out to people? The simple stuff that for you, it's throwaway, it's quite low value, but for the individual that receives it, it's got value. So let me give you an example. From my context, it would be, I can look at most people's LinkedIn profiles and I can pick out 2 or 3 things that I say, if you change this or you did this, it'll make a difference. I give that out and I put that in a post and people see that, they go and apply it to their profile and they say, oh wow, I'm getting a lot more traction on my profile now, a lot more people are visiting me and finding me. And so what will they do? Well, because I've given out actionable advice and tips and it was of value to them, it made a difference to them, they'll do what every other human being does. Whenever we get something of value that is free, we come back to the source looking for more. And that's what you want people to do, is to come back to you. Social media, you're communicating, you want to get that engagement, bring them back time and time again to your profile. So what about the S? Well, this is my favorite one. This is the solve pain. Talk about those common issues, those problems, those pain points that your clients or future customers have. What are the things that come up when you're dealing with clients and customers? What are the common themes that come up that they say they're challenged with that you know you can solve? You talk about that in your content. You really elaborate on it. So, again, give you another example. If I put out content that says, are you really struggling with cash flow in your business? My angle is I can help you with social selling to increase your sales. But I don't go there straight away. I get them to identify, yes, that's me. I have a problem with cash flow. So is that really becoming a problem in your business, that you have that horrible, agonizing moment that as you get towards the end of the month, you're thinking, I'm not sure I can meet the salary budget this month. Now that's a real weight of responsibility upon your shoulders as a business leader, as a business owner. But that tips over even further. Is it now affecting your family life? It affects your sleeping. It's got a mental health influence and it's creating that issue for you. And so you talk about this So the very issue of cash flow being a problem in the business tips over into, I might not be able to hit the salary budget this month, and this is causing me some, sleepless nights. It's now becoming a physical and a mental thing. I will talk about those sort of topics in that sense, but then I paint the picture of what a future could look like with a solution in place. What I don't do is fill in the middle and tell everybody. So talk about the pain points, those common things that your clients and customers are going through, so they understand that you appreciate where they're at. You understand the situation they're in. And you will find that when you do that, as people identify with what you're talking about and they say, yes, that's me, they're already running ahead of you. Because they're thinking, he's talking about my situation, understanding, knows where I'm at. Therefore, why else would they be talking about it if they didn't have a solution? So now your value to the individual suddenly went up. Before you were talking about the company and to educating them who you are. That's fine, that's nice. It's all sideline stuff, really, until you suddenly hit solving pain. Now you become valuable to them because you potentially have a solution to the very thing that they contend with daily, weekly, monthly, whatever it may be. The last T is transformation. This is fantastic because what transformation does is gives you the opportunity now to put into your content examples of results. The transformational thing. You worked with company A who had problem B. C is how you looked at that problem and approached it. D was your outcome. For the first time, people who start seeing your content on a regular basis suddenly see your solution in a real life situation. The consequence of that is the people start thinking, would that work for me? Would that be a good fit for our company? And now you've got them investing more into who you are. They're researching you and looking at you because you're sharing examples of results. They could be testimonials, they could be case studies, anything like that just profiles who you are and what you do. Then there's the last one, the E. So we've done the T, the A, S, T, now we're on E. This is the one where most people get really uncomfortable. Why? It's because it's about experience you. Remember, whatever channel you're on, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, any of those things, they need to experience you. They need to get to know you, to identify with you. It really helps in the relationship if they get a little glimpse into your life. Now, what does that look like? I'm not talking about you suddenly doing a full bio of your life on social media. It's those little snippets that people identify with. So an example from my side would be very recently taking a beach walk on a sunny Saturday afternoon here in Devon with the family. Yes, we've got the coats on and everything, but there's an ice cream in our hand. People understand and they identify with that sort of stuff. Why? It's because we're chilling out from the business week. We're spending time with family. I've got the privilege of living in Devon where there's some great beaches. And so I do stuff like that. In the summertime, you'll find pictures on my profile of me out in a kayak. I love kayaking, just getting out on the water and disappearing for a couple of hours. But it's stuff that people can relate to. Another example from content that you put out on social media channels, I did an exercise where one Sunday I started to visit a few competitors' websites, and I suddenly got surprised to find that content we have on our website and in our blogs that was suddenly being plagiarized. It's suddenly being picked up by other people, and I'm seeing our courses of the same name. I'm seeing our wording almost word for word replicate on other people's sites. So I wrote about this in a post on LinkedIn, and I basically opened it up to my network as in, how do you respond when that happens to you, when you get plagiarized and copied? Because one side of me went, that's got to stop. But then there was a flip side that said, but isn't that a bit of a compliment at the same time? And what you do is you create conversation, but people get a glimpse into this is what you contend with, this is real life example, but we're still talking about business life, we're still talking in the context of what we're aiming to do and letting people come into our world. So let people experience you. If you're brave enough, Get in front of a camera like this, do 10 or 20 second clips, and you can post them up on social media. People love to hear the individual they've started following or the individual content they've started engaging with. There's something about connecting as a human being, hearing that voice, seeing that face, that really makes you relatable. So next time you get stuck and you're looking for what shall I post, think about taste. What is it that you need to educate and teach people about who you are? Don't get naive to the fact that you think everybody knows who you are. There is always a new crowd. Keep teaching and educating people in one or two of your posts throughout the week. Think about the actionable. What's that free advice, those tips, those hints that you can give away? You just do a post about that. Help people. Be that person that they see as a helping, someone who can help them, the go-to person for advice and tips and hints. And you will build an audience around that sort of stuff. Then think about solving the pain. Really look and create content that talks about the issues you solve, how your products relate to that, how your services relate to that. Then the transformation. Just to remind you, feedback, case studies, all of those things that just help people see your solution or your product in a real life situation. It would help them to just visualize it and imagine it working for them. And then the last one, experience you. Open yourself up. You don't have to be massively vulnerable about all of this sort of stuff. It's more about giving them a taste. Imagine you're going to do all the work, advertise your company, your products and services. They've experienced something of you. The moment you hit that phone call, that video call, or you're meeting them in person, the fact that they feel like they know something about you, or there's some relatable information, as in they saw special events or me on a kayak, it's something to talk about and breaks the ice when you meet the person face to face. So I hope that's helped. I hope that you have some sort of a framework that you can work to. So next time you get stuck, just think taste. How am I going to put myself across and my company and products and services across in a way that people can relate to? I hope that's helped, and join me next time on Maverrik podcasts.